I want to tell you about a time I almost gave it all back. We just moved into our mini mansion, almost 4,000 square feet. The house that I had literally been picturing in my mind for years. And I remember standing in the middle of the living room with boxes everywhere, my kids running through the hallways. And instead of feeling really grateful, I almost wanted to throw up because a lot of what I had worked so hard for monetary wise was very much depleted. And this is not in a reckless way. This is what the expansion costs way. The deposit, the movers, the overlap on rent, the things that needed to get done to make it livable, it all just hit all at once. And the money that I was expecting hadn't landed yet. So there I was in the biggest house I've ever lived in with nothing in my account to show for. Not completely nothing, but allowing outer circumstances and my depleted bank account did not match what I was going through in my expansion. And everything in my body was saying the same thing. You made a mistake. You gotta pull back, contract, go back to what was safe. And here's the thing that I've been sitting with ever since. That feeling, that pull to contract, it didn't show up because I did something wrong. It showed up because I leveled up. That's the part that nobody prepares you for, especially in an identity shift and when you're killing an old self of yours. We talk about expansion like it's this beautiful thing. Like, yeah, you say yes, you take the leap, and then the universe just meets you halfway with a perfect bow on it. And sometimes it does. But more often, with the bigger expansion, brings the pressure with it. This is the law, right? Bigger room, bigger resistance, bigger yes, bigger test. And the test is always the same. Are you going to stay or are you going to fold? Are you going to keep going to the next levels? I've folded before and I know what that looks like. Quietly scaling back my vision, convincing myself for being responsible, telling myself that I'll try again later, and later never comes. Because there's always a reason to contract if you're looking for one. But the times I held, the times I stayed steady, even when nothing outside of me was confirming the decision, those are the ones that compounded. That's the word I want you to hold on to, compounding. Because your willingness to stay in the expansion, even when it's uncomfortably uncomfortable, is what makes the next level possible. Contraction might feel like relief in the moment, but it costs you to compound interest on your own growth. So I want to give you something concrete because I think we throw around don't give up and stay the course like that's enough. They're not. You need to know what it actually looks like to stay steady in a contraction. And here's what I've learned it requires. First, you have to separate the circumstances from the signal. And what I mean by this is your outside circumstances are data. It's not the verdict. So say your account is low and the deal doesn't fall through. The month looks like it's going to shit. This is information about your current circumstances, but not a judgment on your direction. The contraction is not telling you that you were wrong to expand. It's telling you that you expanded. Those are two completely different messages. Second, you have to get your nervous system on board. This is the part that's crucial that most people skip. They try to think their way through a contraction while their body is in full survival mode. You can't strategize from panic, and you sure as hell can't make clear decisions from fear. You're not going to be able to receive your next move from a contracted state. So before you make any decisions, you have to regulate first. feeling safe right now. And for me, that looks like prayer, but not any kind of prayer. It was claiming what was happening now, having the full faith and the inner knowing, and then feeling safe in it. The third thing, you want to keep your commitments to yourself. I dragged my feet in getting this painting, which didn't take long. And you'll see that with those little birdies, I covered it because I didn't like it. And it made me realize that things in life, we can cover it up and start over. It's better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. So, commitments to yourself. I made a commitment to myself that I would continue this channel consistently. So whatever you said you were going to do, the content that you might be wanting to work on, the work that you decided to do around your home or things around your business, you do it anyway. And not because the motivation is there, because it's not always going to be there, but because the woman or man you're becoming doesn't stop showing up because the circumstances got uncomfortable. I want to talk about something that doesn't get said enough in these kinds of conversations. Most of the advice out there is about doing different things, new strategy, new system, new approach. And look, strategy matters, okay? It does. But when you're in a contraction, the doing isn't usually the problem. The identity is. The old identity. Because when the pressure comes, we want to naturally regress. We go back to the version of ourselves that knows how to survive, not the version we've been building toward. And survival mode looks a lot like wisdom if you're not paying attention, because that's what you've been programmed to do, and that's what you've been doing for many, many years. It's grooved into your system. And it sounds like you're protecting yourself, right? It sounds like, oh, it's not the right time. It sounds like you're being practical and you're being realistic. But is it really? Probably not. It's the old version of you trying to take back the wheel. So I call her the girl, that girl who needed permission. And these days, I do have so much compassion for her because she built a lot of things under a lot of pressure. But now, she is not who I'm building toward. The woman I'm building toward is the name you see, Magnetic Lioness. She doesn't contract when the circumstances get hard. She gets still. She gets clear, and she holds. That's not naive. That's not bypassing reality. That's a trained identity choosing a different response than survival. Back to the contraction. Every external circumstance was saying to contract. I didn't fold, and not because I wasn't scared, because I was scared shitless. Not because I had all the answers, because I didn't, but because I had enough identity work to recognize what was happening. The contraction was real. The good news, it was temporary. And my job wasn't to fix it in that moment. My job was to not let it make the decisions for me. I kept showing up the way my new identity wanted me to and that I needed to, and I kept building what I said I was going to build. I stayed committed. And the commissions started to come, and the cushion started to come back, not because I panicked my way into it, because I held long enough for it to arrive. I'm telling you this not because I have it all figured out. I'm still in this season. The expansion is still unfolding. There are still days when the old identity pool comes, tightens up, plays small, and telling me to wait until it feels safer. But I know what that voice is now, and I know not to follow it. If you're watching this and you're in a contraction right now, I want you to hear me clearly. You are not failing. You are expanding. And the discomfort you're feeling is not a sign to go back. It's a sign that you actually moved and to keep moving. Stay in the expansion and stay steady. Do the next right thing. Stay in your power. And there's no need to Force yourself through all of this. The fulfillment is now. Go and do the aligned actions, the inspired actions, and then the one after that. The version of you who holds you through this season, she's the one who has something real to stand on when the next expansion comes. I want to know where you are in your expansion, so drop it in the comments. What did you say yes to that scared the living daylights out of you? What's the contraction that's testing you right now? And talk to me down there. I do read every single comment. And if you haven't watched the first video yet, go and watch it before you leave, because that is where the start of this painting is. And that is the one about giving yourself permission to want what you want. And I will see you all on the next one.